Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Hello, beautiful hearts. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are talking with a beautiful soul. She remembers her connection to the ancient mother of the planet. Grace Galzagorry is here. She's a beautiful healer. And today we're talking about embodying wholeness, balancing the masculine and feminine within your body, and actually learning to embrace your body as the living consciousness of the mother. This will increase our vitality and our health and so much more. I want to welcome Grace Galzagorry back to Quantum Conversations. Hello, Grace.
Thank you, Loren. It's so good to be here. I'm just so happy to be in your vibe and feel that Costa Rica energy. And it's so wonderful to be back here. Thank you, Loren.
Well, thank you. We love to be in your vibe too. You've got the ocean behind you, and we were chatting about the elements of nature, how we just love it, and it really guides us to where we are on the planet and how we follow the heart and listen to where we are to go and to be. And so welcome to you, and I want to welcome everyone watching this today as we talk about, wow, this just feels good, Grace. Embracing your body as the consciousness, the living consciousness of the mother. Wow, tell us about this. Well, first of all, what does that mean to you? We can feel it right now, but really, what does that mean?
Well, it's interesting because I think we think of the journey as reaching out when in fact I have come to this consciousness through diving deep into my body, and through that ultimately connecting to the flow of the earth and the mother, and recognizing, because I've been a healer for so long. I started out as a nurse practitioner and teaching very much in the Western world, and then went through a personal journey that was excruciating of discovering that healing really starts from within. And then, I was always with the heart, but ultimately the womb started to open, and it started to become a much deeper experience. And I recognized that the body holds the vibration, the consciousness of the womb, and that it is a living wisdom of the womb that is being transmitted through every cell in our body, that it's not an external experience. It's not adoring something out there. It's literally coming into an adoration and a communion within with our own body. And this has been the key ultimately to healing and wholeness and balance, is to come into this recognition. And this, it's just been a phenomenal experience to recognize we have the biologic lineage, but when we drop even deeper, we have our spiritual lineages from many lifetimes. And if you drop even deeper, all of life, all of creation holds the consciousness of the mother, because the mother created this planet, created this whole existence. All of us hold that, we resonate to that vibration, and it's calling us home to that very deep part of ourselves at this point.
Yes, that is so beautiful. And, that is, again, as we say, just feeling into that. It feels so precious because we've forgotten it for so long. And so when you feel into the womb and you go into the womb, I know you do a lot of healing around this, but what would be some of the things that would disturb that womb, the womb, the creation of the mother? Would it be our experiences with the womb? Would it be our shutting down the heart? Is the heart connected to the womb? And is it a mindset, would you say, that keeps us away from the womb?
In some ways, it's all those things. in the sense that there is trauma and the memory, the cellular memory in the body that holds the traumatic memory, and the places where we have blocks to returning or to being able to be in that flow with the consciousness of the mother. And in the ways that the way I see it is that the head, the heart, the belly, or the womb has really been recognized in many traditions, but the heart is where the masculine and feminine kind of come together. The womb is clearly the mother, the feminine consciousness, and the masculine comes through the mind, and that balance. I mean, the whole body is really being asked to come into balance, but that balance is held by the vibration of the heart, basically. And we've often thought that it's just about the heart, but both the heart and the womb hold the divine feminine, just that the womb holds much more of the mother consciousness. And in terms of the blocks, it is really many of the violations that have happened on this planet that have separated us from that the womb consciousness, or the depths of love, you could say this is the feminine of love, and that we have the return can be very painful, because these violations are held as blocks and we don't even realize that we're numb to that. So there's that level, and then there's also a lot of belief systems and programming that tell us to devalue that part of ourselves, when in fact both are meant to be held equally. Masculine, feminine, and it is the feminine that's meant to lead. And that's part of the reason that the feminine is now surfacing. And we are called to recognize that balance within the body, to recognize that the body has that consciousness and is trying to teach us what is balance in the body, so we can be in vibrant health, basically.
Beautiful. And so if we are feeling into the body, we're going to do an activation with you. They're so wonderful. Your healing transmissions, really. But as we are learning to embrace the living consciousness of the mother in our womb, what's required here? How do we begin to listen to the body? How do we begin to, if it's all in the mind, we can see that our thoughts, our thoughts can run away with our faculties here. And the heart, listening to the heart, that's one thing, but listening to the womb then, and the mother, what is required to make that more known to each of us?
I think that's a great question, because we have been, I think many of us know about the heart and about feelings, emotions, allowing the flow of that instead of suppressing it, squelching it, denying it. But beyond that, there's also the body's symptoms, the body's intelligence, that oftentimes it's through physical symptoms that we recognize that there's an issue, but actually all of it is one, even with our life events that are bringing up. The body works. The body is a living consciousness. It's a vibrational field, and so it's working in concert with whatever arises in your life, like life events, problems with your relationship, your job, your, whatever is arising. But in particular, our health and the issues that arise in the body. It is to really, most of the time, our conditioning is, let's get rid of that symptom. Let's get rid of that problem. It's a very masculine, actually, approach. You just cut it off, push it away, reject it. If it's a problem, the body is the problem. The body is a physical machine. And in fact, it's vibrational intelligence of the consciousness of the whole. So it is about paying attention to what is arising, tightness, contraction in the body, or even physical symptoms. Physical diagnoses are really nothing other than an accumulation of symptoms that have been ignored for a very long time. And so it ultimately is about embracing those symptoms instead of rejecting and pushing away, about opening to, surrendering to. Let me listen to what this is about. Let me hear what you are saying to me. Call in the mother, ask for guidance to start to be working in alignment with the body rather than saying, the body's bad and wrong. Let me get, if we have a breast issue or just cut that off. There's not a problem. Cut out whatever. That is so disrespectful of the sacredness of our bodies, basically. So it's what we've learned and it's how we've been conditioned. And it doesn't mean we don't have a transition, but you begin somewhere. And biggest beginning is to surrender, to embrace what's happening instead of trying to control and dominate and push away like we've been conditioned to do, basically.
Yes, we've been conditioned to do that. And let's say someone has a physical symptom and they go to the doctor. Let's just use an example. And the doctor, that whole experience could put fear in people in itself, right? And so if someone is going through this, what is the best way for them to approach that? Not to shy away from the medical field, but how to be in balance with the medical field for something physical, but yet learning to listen to our body. So it really is tuning in so deeply, and then be ready to hear the answer. That might be the challenging part for people. How do they really trust what they're getting?
Right. It is the challenging part, because one thing to embrace, and I would say embrace with compassion. It really is about bringing the heart. This is where the heart really needs to be involved, because most of the times we judge our bodies and we think, oh, it's not keeping up. It's not measuring up. It's not, doesn't look the way it should look, etc. Instead of embracing with great compassion, tenderness, really just being in concert with it and understanding that it is simply trying to align us with balance, align us with the cosmic flow. In a sense, it's not trying to make our lives miserable. But part of the problem is most people do actually at some level hear the guidance, or they feel intuitively something or instinctively something, but we've been also programmed to devalue that. And if the doctor says something, and I really have nothing against any of the healing modalities per se, but by far the greatest healing modality is ourselves tuning into becoming the essence of love that we are, and trusting that implicitly way more than anything that is going on outside of us. And that's a big leap. So it's a transition. So when we first start, we do both. We go to the doctor or the acupuncturist or whatever, and we also tune into our body and learn to start working with the vibration of the body and the messaging, the instinctual, the intuitive guidance we're getting from our bodies, but also our feelings, because truly our feelings, emotions are showing us where we're blocked. And so much of the time, emotions are simply meant to be a portal, a pathway. That emotional pain is a pathway into being part of the flow. All it is a pointer, show you the way. Feel this feeling and the flow will reopen instead of rejecting it. So it's a little bit of all of that.
Yes, I love that. Feel the feeling. And we've talked about this before, where some would have a resistance to feeling the feeling because of a concern that if we feel into that feeling, we'll go into that deep abyss of despair. And so when you feel into the feeling, what's that like for you? Can you describe how it, because we're feeling into it, the awareness of it allows that to dissipate pretty quickly. It's remarkable how quickly that could disappear. Yeah. So
yes, I totally I couldn't agree more, but I have to tell you that when I first started, and truly I think this is true for most people, you get better and better at it. Initially you do resist, you dance on top of it for a long time, because we've been really conditioned and programmed to diminish that, because it's not orderly, because it's not something we can control, because it might lead to feelings of despair. But I think the distinction, compassion is really important. The part of the issue is when we get into self-pity or feeling sorry for ourselves, or feeling victimized by whatever is happening, then you're actually coming back into the mind and creating a judgment about what's happening. And feeling is extremely pure, even though we have put so many stories on it. Truth is, what you're saying about just feel that feeling, and I don't mean to minimize it because some of them are really deep, is that you are given what you can handle in any given moment. And so you feel what is arising, but as soon as we put a story on it, especially if it's connected with victimization, self-pity, then we start to there's a judgment. There starts to be a separation in that, and it is really about coming back to purity and just staying out of the mind, letting the heart lead us in this journey. And it is you don't have to do it perfectly at first. You just do the best that you can, and eventually it gets easier and easier because you start to have rewards. Like you start to go, whoa, that feels so much better than when I was in separation and when I was avoiding and evading this particular issue or feeling.
Yes, okay, very good point, because yeah, all right, the pity party, like I call it, a pity party, we've all had those. It comes from the judgment that we're doing something wrong, or something's wrong with us, or we're not good enough, that sort of thing. But if we just feel with compassion, you helped explain that very well. And so in this episode, you're going to do a little mini healing session for us. It really is extraordinary to witness you doing this. We're going to take callers. So if those in our audience would like to ask Grace a question, that'll happen after the transmission. But let's talk about the balancing the masculine and the feminine portals in the body. Let's begin there, and then we can do your healing session.
Okay. Well, I've worked with this obviously for quite a while, and as a feminine Christ, part of the Christ consciousness is really about the balance, always about the balance. And as it pertains to the body, as I said, there's three main energy portals in the body: the head, the heart, the belly, or the womb. And so in the way that, I mean, we've all been programmed to think that the pineal, et cetera, is the responsible. But when it comes to the body, the head portal is really a balancing of the pineal and the pituitary. And the pituitary is basically in charge of the endocrine system, so all the hormonal systems. And so right now there's a major transition happening with humanity where our eyes, which have been the main portal of the masculine, and our almost our allegiance to what we can see as what we can believe, and instead making a transition into believing the things that are happening in the inner planes, and that's actually the pituitary. So the pituitary is growing, and the pineal is softening to allow this dance between the two of them, this beautiful figure eight. And this is a lot of calcification between the two. So that portal is being healed, and I do a lot of work with this because the eyes have so many veils of not seeing the feminine, that in the physicality of growing into the embodied, really, you could say fifth dimensional being, or the embodied crystalline being, we need to have a much better balance here. And with the heart, it is the high heart is the thymus, it's the feminine, it's the receiver of the cosmos, basically. And then the physical heart, which everyone knows about, is the one that does the loving, where the thymus is the receiver, more vulnerable. It is the divine feminine. So again, it's a dance of creating balance between these two. And in the womb, there is a connection with the coccyx, which is the tail. Also consider that the mother, the womb connection. And then the spine, which is the masculine. This comes together. Oh, I'm getting chills as I'm telling you this, because this connection also needs to be inner outer, like paying attention to the inner flow that's arising from the earth, simultaneously being aware that we need to live in this outer world as embodied beings who are in touch with, one with the flow that's arising from within, because we've been conditioned to live based on what the outer is telling us we should be versus being true to that inner energy or the inner flow. That's so beautiful, but it is often opposed to what's happening on the outer, not necessarily something people are going to embrace if we start changing our ways, basically.
Oh, wow, really fascinating about each of those three centers. And you bring up something very interesting with the coccyx. It's the tailbone. Is that right? Yes.
Right.
So, wow, give me your take on this, because, wow, I think when I was, I want to share a little story that explains the physical, but it was related to something happening in my life at the time. And it probably was stuck emotions. So when I was a kid, I was playing on a patch of ice like Dorothy Hamill, right? We used to love playing Dorothy Hamill. And I slipped and I fell. And I didn't realize until, wow, decades later, that that fall caused the coccyx to be crooked. And there you go. And when that was healed, things started changing in my life. Things started opening up in my life. Many sessions with a chiropractor corrected that. But I find that fascinating. Would something like that, and so then at the time I was sad over my grandmother's passing. So it could have been stuck emotion or something. What do you think was going on there?
Well, any accident that happens in your life is really already happening at an energetic vibrational level. This is why I say the feminine needs to lead. So the more conscious we become of the inner world, the less drama and circumstances we need to create on the outer, because we're attuned, right? Because we are in balance, because we are aligned. So oftentimes an accident is just calling us to the place where we're out of balance, like saying there's things here that haven't been reconciled, and it's important that you do so now. I mean, that there's no longer a delay in a way. But the coccyx is evolutionarily the place where we did have a tailbone, and it is connected to the mother consciousness, basically. So your grandmother, it's also connected to your maternal lineage, right? So when there was something there that needed to be healed, and probably you were being called to do that piece of healing for the lineage, it was calling you to the attention to the coccyx to open the portals, in a sense, of some kind of blockage that's been happening there, probably for a very long time, probably for lifetimes in your lineage. And that would enhance your capacity, in a sense, to feel all of that flow in this life. And so it was like really calling for your immediate attention to this matter, which obviously the pain of breaking a coccyx will bring you to that. And so the coccyx, it's interesting really that it is also the connection to animal consciousness, or our animal nature, in a sense. And so it's a really important part of our anatomy, and certainly of our spiritual anatomy, to be connected to that, and to be connected to the mother consciousness through that. It also helps us to become one with animal consciousness, and to be able to commune with animals, etc. And we're really flowing through the coccyx.
Wow. Okay, thank you for explaining that. That was just a little example of, how this works. Let's go into a healing session with you so that we can begin to embrace this living consciousness within us and to balance it out. Thank you.
Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to play a little music, Lorette.
So do you know about original sound for musicians on Zoom?
Yeah, I'm going to turn on the original sound for musicians.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to invite everyone to close your eyes And just to start breathing softly, gently into the heart. Just bringing your awareness, your focus into the heart. And letting aside, just putting aside any other concerns, the things you've been worried about, everything you've been carrying, and just bringing yourself fully present here into this present moment. Just allowing that to fall away easily and effortlessly. And bringing your full attention, your full focus into the heart. Relaxing the ribs, the shoulders, the diaphragm as you take deeper and deeper breaths into the heart. And just softening here. And with your awareness here, noticing the spirals, the deeper spirals of the heart, and allowing yourself to just gently transform into a beautiful leaf that's following the rhythm, the call of the mother, and just following these beautiful spirals into the heart, and just dropping gently and effortlessly. And feeling increasingly the call, the deeper call here. The ease with which your being knows where you're going. Taking a very deep breath and opening now the crown chakra. And just opening to this beautiful downpouring of these tiny crystals that are pure white light, their radiance, their blessings. And just opening the crown chakra to this beautiful cosmic energy, this cosmic intelligence, and allowing these crystals to just flow gently, softly, down the heart line, just right down the center. Just allowing yourself to breathe gently and continue to allow this downpouring of this beautiful crystalline light, the deeper awareness, the deeper intelligence, of your own cosmic self. We call in here the beauty and the grace of the stars, the Milky Way. Just opening this beautiful cosmic energy, allowing it to just flow into the heart and just start washing around in the heart with ease and with grace. No efforting here. Allowing any obstructions, anything that may appear in the heart line and any of the chakras, just to be washed away with this brilliant white light. In the throat, and just opening it as you do, allowing even a greater and greater flow to build in the heart line and into the heart. And now bringing your focus, allowing this to continue to happen, knowing, trusting the cosmic will here, the cosmic intelligence to continue to wash and cleanse the upper chakras and flowing into the heart with greater and greater ease. And we bring our focus now into the womb, into the lower pelvis, just with our breath, willing to open and starting to swirl the spiral of the womb, this multidimensional stargate. And here noticing the darker energies, the black womb of nothingness, and feeling perfectly comfortable, knowing this is a part of your very being, a part of the balance, of the knowing, the alignment with the deep mother. Allowing yourself to just gently spiral with the mother. Starting to feel her warm embrace, her gentle compassion, just being enfolded here in the womb of love. And opening even deeper, following the spiral even deeper into the darkness of no thing. And bringing your focus to the coccyx, to the root chakra. Allowing these beautiful spirals of the mother's intelligence and love to simply wash away any and all obstructions or blocks to wholeness, to oneness, to vibrational communion with Mother Earth. Just allowing this process to unfold. No need to control or know how to do it. Allowing the mother's intelligence and wisdom to just take over. Allowing this opening into the coccyx, into the root, just swirling, and this beautiful cleansing energy opening here to the sacred waters and opening to the element of water. Opening to the crystalline consciousness of water. And as this portal opens, just receiving the love of Mother Earth, opening to receive this very generous and forgiving and loving presence, the depth of wisdom of the ages that is one with the womb of Sophia, the womb of the cosmic mother, just allowing yourself to spiral as deep as feels comfortable, allowing the sacred waters now to carry you into this deep embrace of the mother, allowing the cells of your body to awaken and to resonate to this deep vibrational intelligence, wisdom. Beyond words, beyond any mental concepts, opening to eternal love, forgiveness, the caress, very gentle caress of the mother's love, allowing the cells to be bathed and swept into this beautiful embrace of the mother. In particular, anywhere in the body that holds tightness, just allow it now to be bathed in this beautiful essence of the mother. We call in the energy of forgiveness, just allowing forgiveness to sweep through and cleanse all the places we've been unable to hold or to forgive ourselves or another through many generations. methods to cleanse and to purify this beautiful vibration essence of the mother, to just purify all those places that we've held on to resentment and to grudges and to judgment, just allowing those now to melt and to purify. No efforting here, just surrendering and allowing, and really noticing if anywhere in the body is calling for even a deeper bath, a deeper immersion into the waters of the mother. And just organically, effortlessly allowing that to unfold, awakening the intelligence of the cells to this remembrance of the deeper communion and wholeness with the mother. Remembering our origins, remembering this deep place of union with our beloved mother. And then feeling this impulse from deep, deep, deep in the mother's womb, starting to rise like a beautiful fountain, embracing and collecting and purifying as she rises from deep in the earth and up and through the coccyx, the root chakra, completely immersing, enveloping, purifying, swirling energy in the womb, in the lower pelvis, allowing our hips, the lower backbone to just be immersed in this beautiful and soft, gentle embrace of the mother, just allowing the waters to wash through and cleanse any and all blocks, challenges, fears, just allowing them to just fall into, not knowing how to do this, just allowing them to be submerged in the mother. Noticing also as this energy is filling the bones and the legs, all the way down the legs, this beautiful energy just swirling, clearing, cleansing all of our disconnection, our fears, our lack of trust in the mother. Just allowing that to be. And noticing the momentum is gaining of the mother's love, the mother's purity, as it starts to rise up the heart line, cleansing and purifying any and all obstructions in the heart line. In particular, noticing and allowing the cleansing and purification of the kidneys, recognizing and bowing with great gratitude and love to the kidneys for their role in keeping balance in the body. And then moving through the solar plexus portal and into the heart, just allowing this beautiful fountain of joy, of love, of gentleness, of compassion, so much love to just sweep into the heart and continue its cleansing and purifying as it merges and joins with the beautiful energy of the white crystalline essence of the Divine Father, the Divine Masculine. And then noticing that this energy together turns into a rainbow and crystalline energy of pureness, of vitality, of so much joy, of vibrancy, of health, wholeness. And allowing that to swirl around in the heart, in the expanded heart, just expanding it as far as you are able in this moment, just to let it expand and embrace the whole body in this beautiful rainbow crystalline energy that purifies, cleanses, loves, restores, nurtures, and fulfills all your dreams, all of your intentions for health, for vitality, for abundance, for a fullness in life. Just allow yourself to be merged in this beautiful rainbow and crystalline light and energy throughout the body, grounded deeply in earth, receiving the profound intelligence of the cosmos and simultaneously being fully in your body, in your vibrant and healthy and joyful body. And resting here for a moment in deep gratitude for this opportunity to become embodied, to be one with the cosmos as a cosmic being embodied on earth, in love with Mother Earth and in love with the stars. And just for a moment resting here, allowing some time for integration, taking a deep breath and receiving this balanced and aligned self, and softly and gently returning to your body as you've known it, retaining this memory, this awareness of yourself as a multidimensional being, much, much greater than what you've known, and just willing to be open to and surrendered to embody even greater wholeness, greater balance, greater alignment this day and every day. Bowing in deep and reverential gratitude to Mother Earth, to the Great Mother, to the Divine Father. And slowly and gently, when you're ready, opening your eyes. Just a softness in the gaze and allowing yourself to be present to both the inner and the outer simultaneously, which is our divine design. And I encourage everyone to take a drink of water and to drink plenty of water this day to allow the continued integration.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. That was so beautiful. Truly feeling the crystalline light coming in, spiraling into our bodies. When we got to the heart, I immediately just felt a huge heart opening. And that was confirmation for me. That was the experience. And then in the womb, wow, it made me remember how I This is going to get personal. Did I reject the womb, or have I given up on the womb? My son is adopted. I've never had children, so I think I gave up on the womb. And here in this episode, I felt that again. And that is so remarkable because whether we're a male or a female, we have this, right?
Right, that's right.
And so,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
everyone, I mean, we're also born of a womb, right? And we've been many genders in all of our lives. And so this memory of the mother consciousness is really in all of ourselves, whether we're male or female.
In all of ourselves. And so, as that expanded out into all of ourselves, there was a vibrancy. I think that's the word you use. There was a vibrancy, and the pure joy of that bubbling back up through the heart was so beautiful. Thank you. And so that
Wonderful.
is our multi-dimensional experience of that frequency. And so, in the face of everything, in every day, in every moment, if we wake up in a mindset that has us worried, just to come back to this light and work with this light. What a beautiful lesson this was today. What a gift. Yes.
It is truly all inside, and I think whenever there is something emerging and we're having a hard day or there's experiences happening that feel really challenging, most of the time it's a past life experience, the vibration of which is up in our field, and we're simply called to feel deeply what's emerging instead of trying to get away from it by distracting and keeping busy, etc., so that we can, I mean, that's the way to move through it quickly. Otherwise, we spend days, weeks, months trying not to feel, trying not to be present to what's arising. And truly, we have a lot of wound trauma, I mean, tons of gestational trauma, rapes, etc. Uh, it's the list is endless. However, this is available to all of us to heal this now. That's what's so exciting about healing all of this. And I'm just really grateful to be doing this work of clearing the trauma of the womb. So powerful. There is no power greater than the power of the mother and of her love.
Well, we really felt this today. And it's so beautiful. There's beautiful comments coming in as well. Sherry says, holy presence. Arietta says, wow, so wonderful and so needed. Deeply grateful. Beautiful. Thank you, Arietta. Suriland says, thank you. This found my inner bounce, I call it. Not just my crown and brow chakras are pulsating. Beautiful. Sherry says, I felt like I was inside the womb. Yes, that is so wonderful. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So here is a question. We're going to take questions now. And if you have a question for Grace or you want her to assist you with anything, an understanding, please raise your hand. First, we're going to go to our Q&A box. This is from Tammy. I have a question about womb relationships. I feel like I love my womb. I appreciate all the work it's done for me my entire life. I had easy periods and love the feeling inside my womb that came with it. However, I've had a bad relationship with my mother for pretty much my entire life. And now I have a challenging relationship with my daughter only for the past 3 years. Do you feel that this is a womb issue or something else? And she adds, I've had great relationships with all the men in my life.
Well, first of all, Tammy, I'm appreciating that you have had, I mean, what a blessing, right? To have a good relationship with your womb physically, at least in what appeared the physicality, etc. And simultaneously, there's clearly issues in the maternal lineage here that go well beyond this life. of the daughter and the mother relationships are. I'm really glad that you're bringing this up because it really emphasized what I'm saying, that the outer is reflecting. There is no separation between what's happening with the womb and those relationships. So the womb is basically calling the maternal lineage up for healing, and it is in healing those relationships, which oftentimes means that there's something within you that's not in balance in terms of the masculine, feminine, probably the feminine, that is a habituated way that you are not allowing the feminine to emerge or be expressed. And it could be being vulnerable, being in your feelings, in your truth. I don't know, but I suspect that there's something there that is blocking that. And I would just say don't give up, because this is up so you can heal it. And I'm really, it's just wonderful that you can see that there's relationship issues, and both of those are so important for you to reconcile. I actually teach a self-love class, which is largely about the masculine feminine, how to bring that into balance in our relationship with ourselves. And that might be an avenue for you to learn what is it, because it's about the relationship of the masculine feminine that is really being called forth here. I'm sure it's the maternal lineage needs some healing.
Mm, thank you for that. And Tammy, I have allowed you to unmute yourself if you wanted to add a comment. You are welcome to do so. It's not a requirement, but you have the ability to unmute yourself if you feel like sharing anything more. Okay.
And the other thing is, if you speak, oftentimes, or I can feel your vibration, and oftentimes it comes through in your voice. I can feel where the blocks are. It happens in my own body because we are one.
I have unmuted. I think I have anyways.
Hi,
Yes,
yes,
you
you
have. I
have.
Okay,
can
you
hear
can
you
hear me?
now. Yes.
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 That's basically the situation. I worked hard to have a good relationship with my daughter because I didn't want it to follow the same pattern as with my mother. And ultimately, it fell apart, even though I worked hard at it.
Yeah, and as we're speaking, Tammy, I'm wondering if you're aware, can bring your awareness into the there's blocking in the right hip, and there's also some fuzziness, and I would say stuck energy in the left, not so much in the left hip, but into the left femur. And these are likely blocks that are the flow is not completely open in your left leg, which is the divine feminine, and it's not going all the way down and into the earth. That's what I'm seeing. It's blocking, and by the time you get to the knee, there's not a lot of energy flowing through there. So this is, I would say, some level of violation that's happened in the right hip. This is oftentimes deep masculine, what I call rogue masculine, because I love the divine masculine, but rogue masculine override of the feminine, and it's causing blocking in the left, the flow of the left, the feminine. And so both of these relationships are bringing your attention to this blocking in a sense. So I would actually encourage you to seek out some trauma healing, and try to open this flow in the left leg, because it actually holds the key. And once you're cleared in a sense and you do your part for this lineage, those relationships can shift, and most likely will.
Okay, well, I will certainly look into that and try and figure my way through it because I
All
want to
right.
heal these relationships.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you're welcome. Thank you for asking.
So Tammy, I have a question.
Okay.
Does this relate? Do you feel anything in your like, are you aware of that block in your left leg? Hip?
Not in my left. I have had a hernia in my right, the femoral. I have had a hernia repair in my right side. So that would have been a block that I had for several years, but I've had that repaired. I'm not like my hips don't ache, nothing on me aches. I'm lucky to be in good condition. But no, I'm not familiar or aware of my left side at all being blocked up.
Well, let me just also say that having a hernia repair is wonderful. It gives you some comfort, but it doesn't necessarily heal the deeper vibrational issues that are held there. And even as we're talking, I'm feeling the energy is starting to move into the left leg. So I'll keep working this while we're here on the call, and actually probably into the next day or so. I'll continue to work this with you, Tammy.
I
Just with,
appreciate that, but I would like to point out though, with the hernia, that a lot of that is a masculine attitude of thinking that I can do way more than what I should be doing in this physical body. It's I can lift that, I can push that, I can move it until I broke something in my body, basically. And I was aware of that when I did it because my husband's always saying, stop doing stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask for help every time I need something done. So that is sort of an over masculine kind of way of being that I do have.
yes, it is, Tammy, and I appreciate your awareness. Yes, it is. Knowing when to ask for help and being willing to do that without a judgment that we're somehow less than when we're
Right.
doing that is part of the flow and increasing the flow within yourself, basically.
Okay, I'm working on that.
Very
Thank you
good.
so much.
Thank you,
Oh,
Tammy.
thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Okay, beautiful. Next, we're going to go to Enteleki. Randy, I know that's you. Hi, Randy. You can unmute yourself. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Uh, I got my first remote energy work certification 25 years ago. And the experience I'm having now with you is on a level I'm pretty much speechless with. I was hoping if you have any insight on my unique healing journey.
Well, that's a complex question. I would have to know a little bit more about you. Are you feeling anything in your body right now
Oh
that
yeah.
might point? Okay, can you just speak a little bit to some of those things? Is this okay, Lauren?
Yes, please do.
Because anything you're feeling is also true for the field. So it's not like just your thing. Everyone is having some level of whatever it is you're experiencing. So just tell me a little bit about what's going on in your body.
Uh, it's I feel like I'm like a sun, and the energy, the way I'm moving it with my heart, uh, isn't just necessarily vertical; it's also horizontal, like a toroid. But it's like I feel the energy moving, but it's like radiating and emanating like the sun.
Well, that sounds beautiful. I'm not hearing anything about stuck energy or anything that feels uncomfortable. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, well then I think you're doing okay. I would say you're doing okay. Unless there's something specific that's bothering you, I probably won't be. There probably won't be anything that I can specifically tell you.
I'm dealing with nerve damage from FQAD, taking Levoquin and Cipro. I'm dealing with
Where
that
you
all
say,
over,
oh,
demyelination everywhere, like MS.
nerve damage from FQAD. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and it's like demyelination, the sensation it feels like. I'm learning to heal it, and yet it's uh, pretty overwhelming. Been dealing with it 18 years. I've learned so much. Oh my God, I've learned so much on this journey.
which is the beauty of the things that happen in our body, even though they're uncomfortable. I
I,
had Lyme disease with ongoing sciatica and neuropathy in my legs
yeah,
until I
that.
went through my crystalline transition, and I can say that it really part of what's happening is that everyone's nerves are going through a transition that creates feelings of, could even be diagnosed as neuropathy. I'm not saying yours is, but I'm just saying that oftentimes we have a rawness in the nerves because the nerves are softening and learning to be in flow rather than the individuated identity. All of it's reflected in the body. The nerves have to soften to receive a lot more transmission basically from the universe. And so in that process, we can go through a lot of shifts in our nerves that are unusual and don't have a name in a way. And so it can be a little disconcerting. So, in addition to what you're describing, I would guess from everything I'm feeling in my body as you're talking that there's a whole lot of that going on as well. And it does require actually just such compassion and embrace and allowing the opening into the multidimensionality, which is a different experience in a different way that the nerves in our body have to hold that. And it's really the nerves are kind of front line of that transition.
It's easy to say that what's already happened and what's happening is way more than all I came for and more. It's easy to say that. Really, you're bringing through energy and consciousness that is beyond the beyond. It's beautiful, and I'm going to bow all this opportunity. Thank you for me and you. It was one of the best experiences ever for me.
Thank you, love. Thank you for receiving.
Thank you, Randy. Yes. Peace, peace. Randy, we have called you a saint many times because of this journey that you've been on for so long. And so don't give up. Grace, what do you have to say? We won't go into sharing too much about Randy's story here in this public space, but what would you say about holding compassion in the face of everything all the time and not giving up ever? Maybe we get to a point and we just want to throw our hands up and say, I can't do it anymore. What would you say to that? What's the protocol in that experience?
Well, it's actually, I went through an illness that took me 12 years to heal, and I was literally crippled and in pain, that tremendous pain, for most of that time, back pain and neuropathy, and I was having infection upon infection upon infection because the immune system, nervous systems are the two systems that are primarily affected in our transition. I mean, really need to go through quite a transition. And so I reached many points of despair, of really just wanting to give up until I recognized that these spirals, really literally the mother's consciousness continues to bring up issues from past lives. So something that seems like when sinking into despair, for example, I'll tell you about my own life. My mother died when I was 2, and I was never allowed to grieve that, and so it went. When it started to come up, when I started to heal my body, there was such huge grief about it, and I would go into despair. And then I would get infection, some kind of infection, cold, flus, shingles, some kind of infection, and eventually, and it would come up, and it would come up, and it would come literally for over a decade, and I would think, am I not done already? Because I would really get into despair. And it wasn't until pretty much my transition into Christ consciousness where the spiral had gone so deep that I finally, and it was literally Jesus and Mary Magdalene came in and held me in this experience where I recognized that the depths of that despair actually were birthed, and this is true for everyone, that we go through those spirals of despair until we get to the point. And for me, it was the crucifixion and the remembrance of the crucifixion. And I was imprisoned after the crucifixion. And I was taken to a scene where I felt overwhelming despair that my brother, who was Jesus, had been crucified. And that depth of feeling that, and it literally went deep into the womb, into the coccyx, into the earth. When I started to really experience that, it didn't go over. I mean, it wasn't one experience. I had to feel it many times, but when that cleared, that was the end of despair. And because then I understood that it's okay to feel despair, that there's actually deeper spirals, and that there's an end to it. There's an end to it, and there's a purpose to it because we're feeling something we didn't resolve in a past life. And so when I realized that, then I didn't get into as much self pity and victimization, which actually does slow us down. And I was able to just flow so much better. And literally after my Kundalini rising experience, I no longer actually sank into the same levels of despair, even though my health issues were overwhelming and I was very crippled, bedbound for many years. I hope that helps, Randy.
Understand what you said um, about there's an end
There's
and
an end
and there's a purpose.
and there's a purpose.
That that's the money shot right there.
Yes. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And we do hope this helps.
You said it first. It was the divine Christ energy or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. I gotta say, all my experience, this is definitely one of the best ever. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you,
Thank
sweetie.
you. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, thank you. And so, Grace, I'm not the only one. I'm sure Randy wants to know more. I think we all want to know more. Can you share your experience of the crystalline consciousness transition, the Kundalini rising, the Christ consciousness experience, going through that illness? You just surrendered to it. What happened there?
Well, I was ill, obviously, for literally 10, 12, almost 12 years. And one of the things that this is one of the reasons I have such great reverence for the wisdom of the body because I would read things on the internet and expect certain things. For example, in my transition into Christ consciousness, it was literally like this bolus. It was on my birthday. This bolus of energy rose from the womb, from the coccyx, and it moved up and moving through the solar plexus into the heart. It represented the letting go of the love of power, the divinization of my body, and moving into the power of love, like really becoming surrendered to the power of love. And then I got this is your Christ birth, which I was a two-step process, and then I moved through the levels of Christ consciousness at each equinox, each solstice, because the Christ consciousness is deeply connected with the earth. And then my crystalline transition again happened. The final part of it at my birthday, but it took it was a 30-day process where I literally was in another realm, and all this rainbow swirling energy was moving around. I still had some pain at that point, and this was one of my disappointments that when I birthed into Christ consciousness, they gave me the names each time because I didn't have a teacher of what the level of Christ consciousness was that I was moving into each equinox, each solstice. My consciousness and my capacity for healing really increased. I can't even tell you exponentially. And so when the moment I didn't even know that that's what was happening, but I got that it is complete and literally my birthday's on December 14th, and December 12th is the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And Mother Mary has been my eternal mother, and she appeared to me as Our Lady of Guadalupe in her total radiance of the rainbow, her rainbow body, which is what all that stuff surrounding her is, which I didn't realize at the time. And she held her hand out to me and said, I'm your eternal mother. It is your time. And I just moved into this swirl of crystalline light with her. And a white buffalo woman, who's one of my soul aspects, had did this intense healing for probably 2 weeks before that, where I was taken into medicine circle every night with her, either as the white buffalo woman or I was on this slab and all this drumming was going on and my sinuses and my nose just got totally I could smell the ceremonial cedar, and at one point she was running all this peyote through my body. It was all etheric, but I was literally in another realm. There was water just pouring down over my house. It would be beautiful outside, but I could see water on all the windows, etc. It's like having superimposed experiences, and it was washing away my genetic codes, basically the biologic codes, and the light codes were awakening in me, so that on my birthday, I just came into this beautiful rainbow body, and I could feel the light codes pulsating. And they basically pushed out this disease that was in my genetic lineage. It's an autoimmune disease, but I also had Lyme disease. It was a horrific time. And I just had to just hold strong. The healing is complete. That's what they said. And since then, my body has been healed, but I've become vibrationally everyone and everything. So I pick up on things that are happening all over the planet in my body, because my body is not this physical vessel. And so I'm always transmuting, purifying that. That's what I spend most of my time doing.
That is so remarkable. My goodness. Thank you for sharing that again. It is inspirational for those who are going through challenges with the physical, and maybe we don't even have to go through challenges with the physical. It's just showing us how we surrender to the energies of the divine feminine, how we surrender and be in the flow with it. It really is beautiful. I love that story. And I know we're all saying, wow, I want that. I want that. I want that. Did you think you were going crazy at one point, or did you know just to
Absolutely.
survive?
Totally. Are you kidding? I'm a nurse practitioner. I was trained to identify people with mental health issues. I mean, with the diagnostic criteria that's used by Western medicine, but certainly in my Kundalini, I thought this is like being bipolar. I am just blown out in this glory and this wonderful, I mean, just incredible energy pulsing through me, and light, and I couldn't almost sleep, and everything became a vibrational reality, and I could no longer remember the life I had had or even my nurse practitioner skills. Literally, it happened so dramatically for me, and after that, it was about just trying to integrate that transition from outer focus to inner focus, and valuing, trusting your, I mean, that's faith, like building that
Yeah.
muscle of faith that your body actually does know everything that's needed. I really want to make this message clear to Randy, that the body knows exactly what it's doing, and that we continue to open to that wisdom, and that the transformation is that we have to trust that which is arising from within beyond anything that's arising from out here. It doesn't mean you ignore it, but you're true to that which is arising from within, not what you've learned, your programming, etc. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's a very different trend. So that's a journey. People want an instant. I'm going to tell you that Kundalini experience, I was sure I was losing it, because I could see vibration. Everything was vibration. The trees were talking to me, stones were talking to me. That, I mean, and this was a whole other world that I entered, and then I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back, and I knew that if I focused on that, I would panic. Fortunately, Mary Magdalene started walking with me, and then I remembered all my life, the whole situation with her. All these memories came back, but she started walking with me, and I didn't even know that I knew her previously. And she started teaching me through all these experiences I had. But that was, then I had to really learn to trust that beyond what everyone was saying outside of me. And so having a physical illness, and then every time I saw the doctor, as you were saying, there was all this fear. And I would, oh my God, I had to just go through so many layers of fear until I really came to the realization, not as a cerebral realization, but as a lived experience in my body of no fear, of trusting that that flow is what I truly am. It isn't that I'm connected to other, that there's anything to fear. And so that was part of the crystalline transition. There's nothing to fear. There's only light, and all my fears that were cellularly retained from my feminine Christ previous lives, violations, etc., all of that had to melt, and I had to really understand that there's only love, there's only light. and it cleared the cellular memory of fear from my body.
Oh my goodness. Wow. What a journey. Again, thank you for sharing that beautiful story. I hope that you write a book on that someday, or maybe you have written a book on it. That
Have
that's
not.
that's a journey. You are an ascension teacher sharing this story. That is really remarkable, and many people will benefit from it. What a way shower you are.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Lynn.
Yeah.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
I wanted to say that you do incredible teachings and incredible work, and you've got a way for people to work more closely with you. I think, people on this watching this would really benefit from it. I see some of our regulars, and I won't call any names, but you guys know who you are. You might benefit from a beautiful series of courses, three-hour Zoom classes that Grace is doing called Embodying Christ Consciousness. And this is balancing the masculine and the feminine to heal the body and embrace union. I'm going to put the link to this special offer in our Zoom box. You can also find it on this webpage, and wherever you're watching or listening to this program, it's in the description box. But this is really special because Grace, 3 hours with you, this has got to be very interactive and very healing for people. Tell us about this Embodying Christ Consciousness series that you've got.
Well, I always have really gotten that I focus on the energies of the solstices and the equinoxes because those are the most deeply connected with the mother, obviously, in the cosmos. And so it enhances my healing capacity, but I am doing healing every day on the mother, on the earth, and actually on many, many beings in the collective. And so most of my work is actually unseen. Periodically, I come out and teach a class. So I am teaching at the equinox about how to come into that balance and recognizing and having the awareness, the respect, the reverence for the body in that balancing of the masculine feminine, because everything in the body reflects that need for that balance, and any imbalance is really just saying that the masculine and feminine isn't connected. So I also do, as soon as someone signs up for the class, they come into the healing vortex that I am, and I start doing healing work with them every day. So that is really a very masculine feminine class because I'm doing the vibrational healing work. Actually, I do healing work 3 to 5 hours a day, but my being is constantly doing healing work. So I take you through quite a journey on the inner, and then on the outer, I try to teach you the principles in the class, and we also do a deep healing journey. And it can be kind of intense in the body because being in that healing vortex of love, the high vibration of that, and because it's focused on healing, can bring up a lot of symptoms. And people have said, "Oh, Grace's class makes me feel symptomatic," and I'm like, "No, I'm not bringing up the symptoms. The symptoms have always been there. It's just that you bring up the awareness and purifying and clearing them." And so I give a big boost, acceleration, and moving through some things in particular because unconsciously we try to avoid a lot of that stuff and don't even realize that we are. So in the healing field, there's no can't hide from me. Can't hide from me. So I work in concert with the soul, whatever the soul wants to reveal, and then maybe just a little bit more. Quinn.
Yes, there is no hiding from Grace. I know the last time you came on the show, you were like, Loren, are you okay? You know, you can just see it, you can sense it. And that's what makes you such a beautiful healer, really in service for the divine feminine, the mother Christ consciousness. It's so beautiful. All right. And so those 3 sessions are wonderful. And there's a 2 payment plan so that it's easy for you to invest in something like this. This is like treatment. This is, I would say, more important than chiropractic treatment, to get the alignment all in. This gets us aligned and balanced within. And your experience of Christ consciousness and your awakening to your crystalline shift That's what you're assisting everyone else to do here now. And that is, again, so beautiful. So that's available. We were talking about actually option 3 on the special offer, and you've got a couple of other items here as well, smaller courses, still as powerful. And they are on, well, one is on the winter solstice, the Christmas celebration of love. That's the Feminine Christ Healing Circle. Those are really popular with our audience. And then, of course, you have a meditation, an MP3 download of healing sexual trauma. It's a guided meditation. So share more about either of those programs if you'd like.
Well, it was all, I understand people are really busy around Christmas, but I love the solstices. The power of the solstice literally just pumps through my body. So I want to offer something at that time. So I decided to make it a healing circle, but also Christmas is very meaningful to me because it is a celebration of the Christ consciousness. And so I often combine those two because they are both powerful. The whole planet actually, because of the celebration of Christmas that Christianity holds, and that's not to say it's more powerful than other things, it just happens to be the lineage that I'm here to represent. That Christmas opens people's hearts, so there's a lot more openness to love and the healing of love and forgiveness in relationships. So I just really emphasize that and being able to heal more deeply the places where we're stuck. Basically, that's a very powerful time to do it. And I offered the meditation because so many people have sexual trauma and have so much shame and hidden energy around it. And even if it's, and oftentimes dissociated, disconnected, don't know it's there. So that's why I did that. And actually, I would like to. I'm thinking as you were speaking, I thought I really need to put in a few more of the meditative experiences because the healing really happens through those journeys that I provide, and I mean it happens all along when there's classes. I'm healing trauma, and so the group field has an intelligence. I'm healing that trauma, but then I also am healing individuals come up when they have specific needs. So that soul is asking me for help with that particular piece, and it's often a trauma piece that's being cleared. So I'm here to assist, to be a way shower, to really make your journey softer and a little gentler. It's not an easy journey right now, as we all know. And then just, I haven't put it up yet, but I am going to be teaching self-love again in the winter, and I think that's an excellent, I teach it from the very deepest level of the masculine feminine relationship within ourselves, which is where like for example Tammy, really that would help for you to understand where you are demeaning or disowning, and you already identified one of the places within yourself where there's an imbalance and you're aware of it.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you for sharing on ways that people can work with you. Again, those are beautiful programs and they're all available, and we look forward for everyone joining into those. Wow. You know what? There's 2 more people that have questions. I know we're out of time, but we can go very quickly here, as quickly as allowed by everyone. Margaret, I'm going to allow you to talk, and I'm going to tell your question right now. Margaret says, I'm weeks away from left knee replacement. This symbolizes so much, and relationship problems with my daughter. So, Margaret, you're unmuted. Hi.
That everything today was so right on. My mother loved me, but made my life miserable. My daughter refuses to even deal with her. And then I became my mother when my mother passed away, which was the opposite of what I ever wanted to do on this planet. And then the left knee has always been out of balance. One leg is shorter. And I come off as being both masculine and feminine. And that horrifies, in a way, like that's really good. You're supposed to be balanced, but on a physical level, it confuses people. And, and I'm not a lesbian. But people say, you're just not admitting. And oh my God. Anyway, any suggestions? I mean, this is all, I was like, I want to take these courses.
Thank you, love. You know, one of the best things you can do, Margaret, is let those tears flow. Really let the tears flow. No judgment about it, because that is one of the ways your body is clearing itself, is purifying, trying to bring you to greater wholeness, not only within your own body, but also with the relationship with your daughter, your mother. Well, your mother's passed, but that the lineage thing. This is not dissimilar to what Tammy was talking about. The maternal lineage is really being emphasized now because we have been missing out on nurturance for so long, and we have all these judgments about the need for nurturance. We all need nurturance deeply, always, always. It doesn't go away when we grow up, as we have been taught. But I have to say, there is definitely, as soon as you started talking, I could feel both of my hips, but particularly the left hip, tremendous tightness in the hip, and again down in the lower, there's a lack of flow in the left leg, which is all about the divine feminine. It's not connecting all the way into the earth. Now, the total knee is totally fine. We can continue to work with these deeper issues, because really what your body is calling for is union, is oneness, is to be able to be in that flow, and that flow is equal to health. That's really the same thing as health. So anything we can do to enhance the flow certainly increases your chances of having health and vitality, and ultimately you will. There is an end to all of this. So I wish you well, Margaret, and I would say let the tears flow. That's part of my emanation. Part of what I provide is people start to feel all this. It's okay. It's okay. We've been so programmed. Doesn't matter how long they flow. Just let them flow. Got to really let the tears flow, and also let the laughter flow. We have so much constraint. Just let ourselves flow. Move with the energy instead of being so contained and afraid.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question and for your presence.
Love you. Bye.
Love you
Thank
too.
you, Margaret. I heard that laugh. I heard it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. All right. And we have time for one more. Thank you, Grace. This is Destiny. Destiny, I'm going to allow you to unmute, but I'm going to read your question. I was wondering if Grace could help me to have more fun while I'm healing and working through my stuff. And so Destiny wants to know what's going on with the lower body and feet. Destiny, hi. You could say hello.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, dear.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
I'm so grateful for this question, because today I've been working really hard at my health, and I've been dealing a lot with edema, from heart failure, and so I'm really working hard to get this straightened out, and I don't understand what's actually happening. So I was wondering if Grace could give me a little insight on how to make this easier and with more flow and not such a, make it more of a pleasant experience, I guess.
Once again, I would say thank you for your question, that there is a need to allow the flow, whether it's laughter or it's tears. All the same, really. It's all the same. It's so interesting how we have one or the other, but to really, as much as possible, it sounds like, I mean, as you're speaking, I could really feel your womb. So there's definitely clearly some congestion in the womb and into the left side of your hip, but the left pelvis. So the flow obviously enhances our capacity to laugh and have fun, etc. But also it calls for allowing anything, all of it, to emerge with no judgment. And The lack of flow, which is edema, really here there's a calling, and I can feel this in the heart and into the womb, to open the flow. And that means to be present in the moment as much as possible rather than worrying about the future, which is easy to do when we have health issues. Believe me, I know. Just staying in the present moment, staying in the present moment. And you will notice that in the present moment, there are more opportunities for joy than you have realized because the mind is constantly taking you elsewhere. So, your practice, I'm feeling it strongly, is that you stay in the present moment. Open the womb, open the heart and the womb, but really the womb needs to connect into the earth and allow that flow to open in the legs in many ways because there's a habituated way that's been shut off. And you're certainly not alone, but there's things there that really need to be cleared, open to.
Oh, thank you for that, Grace. That makes a lot of sense.
You're so
Um,
welcome. Just try to stay in the present. Stay in the present. That's where your power is. That's where love is. So running off into other directions doesn't really help that much. Honestly, probably doesn't help hardly at all. But we do a lot of it. I'm actually also going to be teaching this trauma healing starting next year. So if anyone's interested, you can write to me because I would also like to spread the wealth. Like you learn to love yourself, you learn to heal yourself, you learn to clear your trauma.
yeah, that'd be wonderful. And yeah, my mind, it just been going 110, and it's like just trying to fill it in my head up with all this bullshit. And I just kind of want to shut it off. So the
Well,
best
that's
way to
where
do,
when your mind gets involved, that's where anxiety gets involved, fear gets involved, and you contract, contract, contract. When what you need to do is open, open, open. Do you see? And you can't open when the contraction takes over. That's why it's such a practice to stay in the present moment and really pay attention to opening the heart and the womb into the earth, like really being connected through our lower body instead of racing into the mind contraction, which completely annihilates our capacity to heal ourselves. You can't heal in the face of contraction.
oh, good stuff. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. I think I'll be seeing you.
Oh, I
Thanks,
hope so. I
Lauren.
look forward to it, dear.
Yes, thank you, Destiny. Yes, Grace is here. And you know what? Grace, I love how you said that. Did I get this right? You're going to be teaching teachers how to heal.
Yes.
Perfect. There's a question from Melissa. Melissa, I think she got your telepathy. um, People absolutely want that. So that's wonderful. Again, your story is the, do I want to say linchpin? No, your story is like the anchor to this healing. And as you teach others, I mean, other people are going through similar things. This is the beauty and this is the inspiration that comes out of it for everyone, that we got this. And you, as a former nurse, you're shifting the medical field left and right, whether you know it or not. And that is what I find fascinating. Very fascinating. So good on you. Thank you for that, Grace. Thank you for stepping into that greater sharing of this wisdom that you hold within you, that you've discovered within you through the help of all the guides.
You're so
Yes.
welcome and thank you. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to talk about it because, like I said, I don't spend a whole lot of time on social media or out there because I spend so much time on the inner planes doing healing work that I don't honestly just don't have the energy for more than that. But this is my dedication, my mission, my purpose, and so I'm very grateful to be doing that, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk with you all and be able to share that. And I'm also aware that it is time to bring more people into the awareness of this sacred work of really being able to heal ourselves and open the flow, and understand that we all have that capacity within ourselves. We don't need to go out there and look for someone else to heal us. We have that. We have it within us. And we lost that a long time ago when we lost the mother, when we lost love and the true power of love.
So beautiful. It's what we are returning to, this power of love. It is so exquisite and wonderful. Grace, thank you so much. As we say goodbye, I want to give you, you already said it all so well right there, but any final thoughts that you'd like to share as we go on our way?
Well, I just really want to put some hope in the air and joy in the air, because this is really about that which is innately in you. So don't give up. It's there. It's just a dig deeper. You just got to keep digging deeper, because I think we think it's endless. But I also really encourage people to get help with the trauma healing and with clearing, because that's where we get stuck. We get stuck. We need help. We need one another. We need community. We need the assistance so we can move along. This is a time of such rapid movement. So I just want to tell you, don't give up, and know that there's much deeper possibilities within you of who you are. And it's all there for the taking. Just allow yourself to go with your intuition and get help when you need help, versus trying to do it by yourself, which is another part of our patriarchal conditioning.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. And again, if any of you would like to work with this beautiful healer, Grace Galzagorry, the options are here, and we invite you to check it out. We're excited for you to join us. Grace, thank you again for this beautiful experience today. Kudos are coming in left and right on our Zoom that this has just been wonderful. Our hearts are full, and the feeling that you gave us today, that vibrational frequency you gave us, was so wonderful. We can never forget that, and we can only go back and make it stronger and more prevalent in our lives. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Galzagorry.
Thank you to everyone who is here, because we did this together. Thank you. And thank you, Lorette, for hosting me very much.
We'll see you again soon. Thank you. Okay, and happy equinox coming up here shortly. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.